Hi, this is James Garbo, Trouble Library here, doing a top list video. I've been wanting to do something new for a while, so I decided to do my top favorite science fiction books. These books I have picked are not in any particular order or any theme or genre. They're just my favorite science fiction books that I read over the years. Without further ado, let's get into it. We'll start off with the classic, War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. This was first published. Let's see. This is from Watermill Press, 1980. However, this book was actually first published 1897. Yep, 1897. This was first published. This is basically about Martians, aliens from Mars, invade England and attack London, try to take over the world and stuff. And you follow the invasion through the main character. Really good book. However, every single film I've seen that's supposedly based off this book sucks, as always. The big mistake they keep doing is setting in modern times, which it ruins the story. However, my father has told me that the BBC have done this like 2-episode miniseries, which is set in Victorian era England, which the story takes place in. So he said it was good. So one of these days we're gonna have to watch together and see if this will be finally the proper adaptation of it. Or going to have to wait another couple of years till someone gets it right. So this is the one edition I got. Then here's a different edition. I have War of the Worlds. I really like this cover. And this is by Pan Books, and this was published in 1989. Or sorry, 1980. Yeah, 1980. Wait, did I? 19. Oh, okay, that's what threw me off. Okay, this edition is 1975. I'm sorry, there was a date here that threw me off. But yeah, so I have this edition. There was another edition I once saw that I really liked, but it had a sticker on it, and it really ruined it. So I didn't get that one. And here's this big hardcover I got of collections of H.G. Wells books. It has War of the Worlds, of course, and it's got this really sick cover. Look at that, it's just beautiful. And this one has some illustrations. This also has The First Man on the Moon, When the Sweeper Lakes, and then it's got short stories, The Country of the Blind, Emperor of the Ants, The Valley of Spiders, and The Man Who Could Work Miracles. It's got some other ones. But this has some illustrations. Oh, I love this stuff. Alright. Again, I love this stuff. I still love it about these old books, and they have the nice detailed illustrations. Oh man, this is some really good stuff in here. One more. That is just nice. Alright. Oh yes, before I forget, so I do sometimes, this is by Castle Books, and this was published in August of 1986. So this is nice. Okay. Here's another alien invasion novel that I really liked. Larry Niven and Jerry Prenier, Footfall, and it's got a die cut. I really love that cover. That's just really sick. This was okay. This was first published. This is by Rey Books, and this was published in 1985. This is about an alien invasion of these elephant-like beings that basically invade Earth by using asteroids as weapons against humans, and then trying to conquer the planet. And basically, it's up to the Americans and the Soviet Union to work together to defeat them, and basically save the planet from being wiped out and taken over by these aliens. A really good book. I really enjoyed this. I definitely will read this in the future, and all these other books too on this channel. Okay. Another classic that I read, and it blew my mind when I read it when I was in high school. Frank Herbert's Dune. And man, this is just a nice cover. This was the first edition I got at a book riot, and there was one page where the sentence was missing, and the smart thing I should have done was just basically get a newer edition of Dune and then just write in the sentence what was missing rather than guess what it was. Because I brought this to my English teacher and he thought, oh, this is the sentence, and he wrote in the missing sentence with a black pen, and then years later I got another edition of Dune, which I'll show in a minute, and when I got to that page, it was not the correct sentence. So I was like, that was one of my regrets. I ended up getting that book away, and it got this one. However, this one is not really in good shape. I've never just opened, and the spine is kind of starting to split on pages, so I don't want to open this one too much, but I really like this cover. It's nice. It'd be great, though, if I can find a nice, good one sometime. This is by Ace Books, and this was published in 1965. This is basically about, what was it? Basically, it's about this son who's part of like this powerful family go to the planet Arachne. What's the planet? Planet called again? Rachna, or they basically go to some desert planet, and they're supposed to gather like spice from the planet. It's like kind of like a drug, and then there's this other powerful empire that wants to get rid of them so they can take over and rule the galaxy, that sort of thing. So basically, the son teams up with like the desert people to basically rebel against them. Really good epic story, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new Dune movie that's coming out. That's the one thing I can't wait to do once this whole stupid lockdown thing is over. The very first thing I want to do, get a ticket and go see the new Dune movie because it looks amazing. As I like to see a film that follows more close to the book than the David Lynch film, which was terrible. And this is the kind of more somewhat newer edition I have of Dune that I got. I would love to get there's this like special hardcover edition, and it's just got amazing cover, and I would love to own that one day. So that's going to be something I'll have to save up for. But this is a much newer edition, it's much better shape. This is the one I'll be reading when I go do my review of Dune, and I actually got the second book, Children of Dune, I think it's called, or Children of Dune. That's the third novel. What's this? Hold on a minute. What's the second book called again? Okay. Messiah of Dune. That's the second book. Messiah of Dune. The third one is Children of Dune. That's the third one. But anyway, this is by Ace Books, and this was published. This is 25th anniversary edition, 1990. So I definitely look forward to reading this series again. I mean, I look forward to reading the Dune series because I've already read the first book. My father said that he has tried the second Dune book, and he said he got bored with it. So I heard mixed things about the Dune series, so I'm going to have to... Dune series, I mean, not Dune series. So when I go to read the Dune series, I'll see for myself what I think of it. Okay, this next book here is a self-published book, but a really good one. The Escape Pod by Humans Are Dumb, or as the author told me, the end joke of his conundrum is Humans Are Dumb. This was a self-published book from Amazon, and there's no date on this. What was this? Okay, December 8th, 2017. Okay, this is basically about a elite soldier basically is sent off to kill some like deadly terrorists, and he completes his mission. However, he gets abducted by aliens, and when he's brought on the ship, there is this Catwoman that's on the ship, and some other kind of like fish-like being as well, and these aliens are like experimenting on them. They put these like kind of disc objects into their heads, which it's able to translate any language, so it's like just comes out as English or whatever language the aliens can translate to. And basically the soldier and the Catwoman, basically they escape the alien ship and get on the escape pod and crash land on this planet, and they're basically trying to survive. And then at the same time they kind of form a relationship with each other, and the main character finds out that her race is up against these like kind of like cockroach like aliens, and basically they're trying to enslave her planet, and then they come looking for them. This was a really fun book. Just a lot of like over-the-top action, violence, a lot of sex. Some one-liners. It's just really a fun book, and I really enjoyed this book. If you're looking for something like a lot of fun to read, I recommend this book. You can still pick it up on Amazon, and paperback or Kindle. And this is a really good book. I really enjoyed this one. All right. Okay, this next book here. This is the most important rule I have with books, is that if you have an eye-catching cover, like a really sharp cover, you will draw people to the book, and that will make an excellent, good seller. And this cover, when I first saw this, when I was doing community service back in high school, I basically ended up doing mine last, where all my friends, they did it early, and it was like, James, why don't you do it later? It's like, nah, I don't want to. I want to relax. And it was like my last semester. It's like, you got to do your community service. And it's like, oh, shit. But it all worked out in the end because I got to do mine a book ride. And after doing such a good job, the person running it said, you can take one book for free. And so I looked through all the books, and I saw this cover, and this was the book I took, and I'm glad I did, because this book was amazing. This is Manhattan Transfer by Johnny Siff. And let's see, this was by Torg, and this was first published in 1993. This is basically, as you can see on the cover, is basically what happens in the book. It is basically, it's just a normal day in New York City. I believe the book is set in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Has nothing to do with the Mayan calendar. That was such a stupid thing. But anyway, so basically, it's a normal day in New York City when all of a sudden the city is placed in a dome, and then it's literally pulled out of the ground and up into a spaceship, and the bunch of people band together and basically discover that this there's two ships. There's a kind of like a cargo ship that's being controlled by another ship, and basically the alien ship is controlling the cargo ship, which has all these cities that it's collected from different galaxies, and it's taken them to somewhere. So the group of characters basically are trying to figure a way how to get back to Earth and stop these aliens, and then, of course, you got some religious fanatic who thinks it's the work of God, and is convincing people that this is all God's work, and he's going to take us to heaven, and all that other biblical bullshit. So basically, they have to deal with this guy and basically get back to Earth as well. This was a really fun book, and I definitely plan on reading this and reviewing it for the channel sometime in the future. Oh, this was such a good book and a lot of fun, too. Okay. All right. My next book, Planet of the Apes. This is by Pierre Boyle, French author. This book was first published in France as Monkey Planet, and then was translated into the States as Planet of the Apes. This is by Del Rey, and this was first published in 1963. This edition is 1991. I remember when I first heard Planet of the Apes, I saw the movie of it with Charlton Heston, which is still one of my favorites. Then, after seeing the movie so many times, I wanted to read the book it was based on. I had such a hard time looking for it, and when I did find one copy of Planet of the Apes at Value Village, it had the shittiest cover ever on it. Like, it's supposed to depict the scene where the astronauts are on the planet, and they're in the raft boat, and in the background, they got this like looks like a mummified monkey head in the background, and it looks horrible. I'm like, the artist, to the person who did that cover, could you come with something like better, make the monkey more lifelike and more, alive than looking like a goddamn corpse? Like, jeez. But anyway, this book is actually a lot different than the Charlton Heston film. This one is more violent, dark, and the Charlton Heston one, despite it being a classic good film, it basically toned down and watered down some of the darker elements of the book. Basically, it's about there's a couple. They're on some luxurious kind of spaceship yacht, and they find a bottle floating in space, and they bring it on board the ship, and it's got a bunch of notes in it, and basically they're translating, they're reading over the notes, and it's about this astronaut team that we're going to some planet. They crash land on a different planet, and they find that when they get there, they find a bunch of women bathing on these waterfalls, and all of a sudden these trucks and helicopters show up, and they start shooting at the humans, and then the astronauts get captured, and it's a bunch of apes, and basically they get captured and then thrown into a zoo, and basically it's like all these like different types of monkeys, and then the main character talks with this other type of monkey and basically convinces her to bring her out of the zoo into her place, and they kind of learn about each other's cultures, and then there's this whole conflict going on between the apes, which are like the dominant race, and then you got like the little like kind of like monkeys and some other species that basically like they're like the more smarter kind ones, and basically there's this battle going on between the two like species and stuff. And this book has a great twist ending at the end, and I loved it. It's nothing like the film where Charles Heston rides the horse on the beach and finds Statue of Liberty like half buried in the sand. This ending, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear this, just mute me. Just, you know what, I'm going to put my hand up. If you don't want to hear the spoiler to this book, hit the mute button. And as soon as I put my hand down, unmute me. Basically, in the book, the main character escapes with his with the monkey woman that ends up becoming like his kind of girlfriend and his child, and they take a rocket ship after a whole like revolt war happens. So they go back to Earth, and then when they get back in Paris, the apes and monkeys are already on Earth, and the couple is like, "This is bullshit." So it has this kind of like ending. Are the monkey and apes still on planet Earth, or is this just a story? So it's a really good book. I recommend. If you haven't read Planet of the Apes, I recommend. Really good book. And there's actually a graphic novel of it I would like to check out, which actually was the first pitch idea for the film before it became what it is. I like to check that out sometime. So that's that. Okay. These next books I'm about to show, they're part of a series, but they all count because they're awesome. This is another book I read when I was in high school. Forests of the Night by S. Andrew Swan. I really love this cover. This is by Jim Burns, who does some really, really cool cover artwork. Sorry, I got some dust on it. Here's the back. This book, okay, this was published by Dawn Books Incorporated, and this came out in 1993 in July. This is basically about the main character, the tiger, Noor Rajar, who's like a kind of like a private eye. Is hired to what was it? Yes, private. Okay, he's private eye. Basically, Noor Rajar gets hired into some case, and there's a lot of twists and turns in it. It's a really good, fun book, and this is one I don't get here being talked a lot about. I really like it. It's a really good book. If you haven't heard this series, check it out. It actually just got reprinted as the More Hours series, which is a reference to H.G. Wells' The Island of Dr. Morell. And I would definitely like to own the original paperbacks. I only got the first one here. I got this at the library, and in really good shape. I only have the omnibus edition right now, which has the first 3 books in the series. I would love to get the original paperback so I can have the complete series of it. So the first book is Forest of the Night, and then the other 2 are Emperors of the Twilight, and then the third book, Spectres of the Dawn. The first 2 I really liked. The third one was okay. I'll get to the fourth one in a minute, but there are really a lot of fun and creative, imaginative science fiction books here. Each one follows like a different character set in the same universe. I think I don't think all of them. No, not all of them. The first one's set in Cleveland, and then the third one, I remember being set in San Francisco, and a whole bunch of. And I forget what the second one is set in, but overall, just really fun like books. A lot of action. It's well-developed characters, and definitely will be reviewing this on the channel. And the fourth book, and the final book in the series, Fearful Serenities, The Return of Noor Rajar. This was actually the first book I got. I actually got this book when I went up north with my dad years ago, and then that's how I discovered this series. I was drawn to the cover of Noor Rajar holding the gun. You can see like the flying cars in the background. I really love this cover. It's just so beautiful. However, this book, it's not like the first 2 are really good. The third one was okay. This one was kind of decent, but it was all right. It did have some really good moments in it though. But this actual scene does actually happen in the book early on in the book. Okay, anyway, this was published by Dawn. This was 1999. So if you want something that's different and has animal people in it, I recommend checking out the Moral series, a really fun science fiction series to check out. Okay. The next two books are Philip K. Dick novels. These are my two favorites. Upric, which is Latin for everything. And this is that thing I showed in my appreciation of Philip K. Dick. This is by Manor Books, and this edition is 2012. Upric was first published in 1969. This one basically follows the main character, Chip. Basically, he gets called into this business meeting on the moon, and it turns out to be a trap, and basically he's put, there's a bomb that goes off, and he's put in this half-life stasis, and the person responsible is monitoring him, and all basically him and the main characters that think they survived, and basically they're in this world where time is going backwards, and the main character, Chip, has a coin which has the villain, and it keeps changing each time they're in the different period. It's a really good book, and the ending and again, this book has a really cool twist at the end. I'm not going to give away. I would do that on my review when I go review Upric. A really good book. And the first book that I have read, Phil, that got me hooked on to both Phil K. Dick and science fiction, Do Androids Dream Electric Sheep? And let's see, this edition was by Rey Books, and this was published, what year was this edition? June 1969. It was first published 1968. I will be doing a review on this book soon, my Cyberpunk trilogy, after I read First Blood by Daryl Morrow, and I'll go into further detail in that book, but basically I'll give it a rundown. It's basically about Richard Deckard. He's basically a bounty hunter. He's hired to hunt down some androids that have escaped from a prison ship or a prison on another planet and have come to seek their master and stuff, while Richard Deckard is trying to get a real animal, because most of the real animals are extinct, so you can only buy these android versions of them, and real animals go for a lot of money. So I definitely I'll be doing a review of this soon, and I'll discuss more of it on that video. Okay. All right. And the last book in my favorite science fiction series, Anthony Burgess, Anthony Burgess, A Clockwork Orange. This is a special edition which has the extra chapter that was taken out when it was published in America. I definitely like to get. I don't mind this edition, but I kind of like to get something a little better. It's like the title, for example. The title is like, you can't see it. A clockwork, and then you got this orange ball on it. So if you know what the title's on the side, of course, but if you look at the cover, it's like a clockwork, and you're like, a clockwork what? Oh, so orange. So if you don't know what this is, but it's a Clockwork Orange. I definitely like to get a better edition of this. This is by Penguin Books, and this edition is 2012. I'm going to say. This book was first published, I'm going to say 63, I think this book was first published in. I'm going to say. This is basically about, it's set in a dystopian, violent future of London, where a gang led by Alex and his Druze, which basically is slang term for friends, which basically, in this book, there's a kind of like a mixture between, Russian and some other language, and the author has a index, so basically you can translate to what all this slang term means in the book. So basically the book follows Alex through his violent sex-filled adventures, and then his downfall, and then his redemption to try to become a normal human being again. Really good book, and I recommend you make sure if you want to check out this book, make sure you get the extended chapter, because it basically has the redemption part, as I said, and the early editions of Clockwork Orange, they cut that last chapter out, which ruins the story. And overall, this is a really good book. I I remember hearing the film, like it's one of Stan Kubrick's like fan favorites, and I read the book first, of course, and the book was really good. The film, I really did not like it. My problem with the film, it doesn't really feel like it's in the future. It just feels like it takes place in the 70s, and like it takes place like it's like the Great Depression. It's set in the 70s, and some of the actors, I find some of the acting like goofy and just over the top, and others fit the like are doing the part, and you just got these like other goofy characters and stuff. I don't like I don't like how some of the things look in the film. Like there's a scene where it describes Alex's bedroom, and he's got speakers everywhere. When they show in the film, it's just a regular bedroom, and it's like, is it that hard to put speakers everywhere, like in a bedroom? And a whole bunch of other stuff I didn't like in the film, but another book I definitely will be reviewing on the channel. Alright, that is it from this topless video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you haven't heard of these books, I recommend you do check them out. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the October Library and the YouTube channel as well, a place you can post and review fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.